Imagine a world where everything we know has crumbled. Our cities, governments, and technologies. Though it's highly unlikely that such events would ever happen, but the chances are never zero. What would it take to rebuild civilization from the ground up? Before we can talk about rebuilding society, let's cover the basics of survival. If society has fallen, then there surely would not be any electricity, water supply, or food supply. Any civilization begins with three essentials: food, water, and shelter. Food. Humans can only go a week without food, or 2 weeks if you are lucky enough. So finding something to reduce your hunger is very important. If you are lucky enough, then you will probably find canned food in grocery stores. But it's very unlikely in the case of society collapse because everyone would have the same idea. So you might need to learn how to hunt and forage. Also learn how to recognize edible plants and berries because the last thing you want is to get poisoned. Getting some books about edible plants and hunting and skinning animal would be very helpful. Shelter. A city or crowded place would be a bad place to be in these times because of the chaos and violence, so you might need to build your own shelter somewhere safe but not too far from the city. But also form a group of people because you cannot form a civilization on your own. You need to have shelter strong enough to withstand animals and harsh weather. You need to have a proper logs and sticks for the walls and enough dry plants like hay for the floor. If the city is safe enough, then staying in the city is recommended because there are plenty of shelter that are very strong and will last a long time. But it's hard to find animals and water in the city. Water. Clean water is non-negotiable, so finding a water source and learning how to purify it is very important. You might survive weeks without food, but can't survive without water more than some days. This is why having your shelter near a water source is important. But be careful that the water is not contaminated by chemicals or dead animals. Once the basics are secured, the next step is harnessing knowledge. Civilization thrives on preserved information. We are lucky enough to have a lot of knowledge and information on how to survive. Rediscover ancient skills like tool-making, weaving, and navigation by the stars. Accessing knowledge from surviving books or other records is important. But here's the catch. Specialized modern skills like coding or physics won't be much help if you can't farm, forge metal, or generate power. So this is why you need to get books that help you know the wilderness better, and that lets you learn ancient skills like making leather or crafting weapons. The books that will be most helpful are Survival and Shelter, Animal Hunting and Skinning, Agriculture, Edible and Non-Edible Plants, Medicine and Health, Tools and Weapons, Transport Social Organization. There are many more important topics, but these are the most important. A civilization isn't just tools and technology, it's people. Building a functioning society requires trust, cooperation, and organization. First comes communities with shared goal, and that goal is to survive. In this case, we assume that you are the leader, so you need to give tasks to everyone. Select the ones that are strong and fast for hunting animals, the weak ones for cooking and agriculture, a group for gathering wood for fire and cooking. Also try to create metals for tools because it lasts longer and are much stronger, that stone. Everyone should have a certain task. Someone with certain skills should be given tasks according to their skills. Let's say you have reached a functioning little society. Then you might need to migrate to a different place in order to have a thriving civilization. You need to move to a region with enough rainfall. Ideally, you should move to Southeast Asia. Why? Because there is a lot of rainfall that can sustain proper agriculture. And you can grow rice easily in this part of the world. Why rice? Because rice is very easy and quick to grow, and it has a lot of carbohydrates. You will need a lot of this energy source for all of the people. But if you are too far from Southeast Asia, then these places would be good alternatives. While migrating, be safe and don't leave anyone behind, and take in any survivors that you encounter, unless you are able to, because you will need people to build civilization. It might take years to migrate, so it is better to write down all the plans you have and preserve it. because this could be useful in case you die. Once you have settled, basic system of laws and governance should be enforced. It is likely that there are other groups that have been living like you have been living. So you should form a good bond with them because over time trade networks should be formed and you should be able to help one another by providing resources to one another. Once resources and cooperation stabilize, humanity can rediscover its most powerful tool, energy. Early energy sources like windmills, water wheels, and fire can give way to more advanced systems like steam power or electricity. This will probably take a few hundred years, so as we said before, it will be best to preserve the plans and documents. The key is focusing on practical technologies, farming tools, transportation, and communication devices that enhance survival. There are books that give an idea on how these things are built, so it won't take as much time as it took for our ancestors. Small things like windmills, furnace, and water mills should be the first focus because these make working much easier and faster. Then electricity should be the next step. Electricity means you get to have light, and light is very important. You can light up a town with a small hydropower. Using electricity for light means that you use less wood and fuel, and saving such resources is very important. First, you need to reinvent these things, then comes the big stuff like steam engine, cars, and phones. We can learn a lot from our past. Humans have been killing the planet by using all the resources without trying to conserve it, and it has left some serious issues in the present times. So, learning how to use natural resources properly and without any greed is important. And where can young people learn this? School. If the people have made it this far, then you can be assured that the civilization is already restored. But a functioning society needs education. Educated society can invent and discover new technologies that will benefit the people. A new civilization could be smaller, more sustainable, and more connected to the earth. Imagine cities powered by renewable energy, communities focused on well-being instead of profit, and technologies designed to coexist with nature. Rebuilding civilization isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. With patience, knowledge, and unity, humans have the potential to rise from the ashes again. The real question is, would you be ready to play your part? If you like this video, let me know if you want a second, more detailed part on the same topic.